So, Coach, coming in when I had asked you the other day, I think the name you had brought up was Patrick Cartier. You said, we need to make sure we do a good job on him. I think the insinuation was we already know some of the other guys they have, like an Isaiah. It seems like this is becoming a regular thing where other teams' opposing star player seems to have a lot of success. What as a coach can you really do? I mean, what's going wrong against some of these better players? Is it just they're that good? I mean, what is it?
I don't know if anything's going wrong. I mean, you got to give them credit tonight. They look like a team that has number 4's played 4 years of Mountain West College basketball. Number 1's played 4 years of Mountain West College basketball. Number 12's played 5 years of college basketball. I don't even know, it could be 150 games by now. Number 5's a senior. Rivera's played 3 years in Mountain West. So they're out there playing with guys in February who've played, 3, 4, and 5 years of college basketball and more not. So at that juncture, you got to give them credit, especially those two guys, for coming in here as seniors. And you know what? They played like seniors who've played a lot of games in the Mountain West, who've won games in the Mountain West. And that's how I think they played as a team overall. They played like a team that, we know what Mountain West basketball is in February. And they came here and they just played that way. I think a little bit in the first half. We beat ourselves a little bit in the first half with turnovers and some defensive mistakes that were our mistakes and not them. But over the course of the 40 minutes, that they were just tougher, more physical, older, more experienced, and it showed up. It showed up in how they played, right, and how they made the game go. And you got to give them credit for it. And, tonight you give credit to those two guys, the whole team. And then Cartier brings that element. I think all year we've done, to your question, we've done a better job this year of handling, like, the paint against big guys. We've done a better job. We're way better at the paint and the big guys beating us in the paint. And as we've done that, you know what? The physicality to keep number 1 out of the lane, the physicality to keep number 4, which I don't know if anybody can. Number 4, he does it with everybody, But Tanjay tonight was almost like, you ain't stopping me. I'm getting to where I want to get to. And that physicality right now for us is really what the learning curve is for our whole team. Like I said, Cam and Carter didn't play their freshman years, right? 9 of the 10 guys that play for us in some way, shape, or form, this is their second February in Mountain West College basketball. And I think that's an element when you get to February where these teams that have veterans, they know it. And you could tell Tanjay and Stevens have the experience of doing it, and they know it, and they went and did it today. So that's how I look at it. That's what we got to learn from it. And there is an element of physical strength, like mental strength, the experience of having done it, been through it. There's definitely an element there that's what we got to learn. So as we keep going forward into the future, right, when are we going to have that strength? When are we going to have that physicality? And, well, that's what the whole, process is.
Touching off of the experience factor, it's like in the second half there were, some fouls that, may have been misplaced fouls. There was a 10-second violation. There was some missed front ends of one-and-ones. I mean, those type of things that seem to be a regular occurrence. At what point as a coach is it past time for those mistakes to be cleared up, or have we already passed that? I mean, where do you fall when you see those type of things just still happening?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, it's all related. Jim Arthur just asked me about, our offense over the last 3 games. You know what? I think we've gotten some of our best shots of the year of this whole season in our last 3 games. I actually think our offensive execution has risen, and as it's risen, right, the ability to make shots, over the last whatever it is, well, that's another piece to this puzzle in terms of whether that's a mental toughness, an experiential type thing of having been through the wars so much that I'm getting this shot and I'm making it, because we're getting wide open shots. Tonight, we've been really good all year on twos. We were 11 for 26 on twos, which has not been we've been really good at that. And I think sometimes it's not a snowball thing, but sometimes it's like anything. You get into a game and you're executing, and that ball's not going down. You know what I mean? You still have to respond and stay tough in there. But I do think when that's occurring, their physical strength then can kick in a little bit more, and I think it did tonight. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see Jake Heidebretter's fighting, and he's cutting, and he's moving, and he's getting shots. I mean, I really believe out of those 17 shots, 14 or 15 of them were really good looks, right? Right. We got to get some other guys getting some looks, because we got some guys playing over the last few games that they're not getting any looks. You know, you're playing 30 minutes in a college basketball game with how everybody touches in our offense. You know, we have to have some other guys step up, and that just means playing basketball. I play 30 minutes. You know what? I get 4 or 5 shots. I make 2. I grab 3 or 4 rebounds. I put numbers in the stat sheet. That's what you do when you play. The one guy who's been consistent with that all year for us, he seems to be hitting the wall right now. He's a freshman in February in the Mountain West. So, again, that's where the experience of other guys, and if they're able to step up because they've been through it, well, that helps Ritas get through hitting the wall right now. But there's no question that's what's going on. That's physical and mental when you take into account the entire year for Ritas. And everybody goes through that, you know. So I think that's, again, I think a lot of it's just related to the ability to know, you know, sort of what Colorado State knows, you know, through their own experiences, having so many of those experiences. You have that, you get to that point, you shoot 14, 15 for 26 on twos, 16 for 26. You make 2 more threes. You make 2 more foul shots. It's a whole different, but that's what this experience is. That's really what it is. And like I said, you got to give them credit. They knew we beat them at their place. You're coming in February, you're playing them for the second time. They got that kind of experience. They played like they knew it, and, you know, give them credit for the way they played and the players that they are and the coaching job that they did today.
So, Camden, I mean, what changed? What changed between last time you guys faced this team in Fort Collins and today? Because it looked like a very different game than last time. What did you see as the biggest change?
Biggest thing for me, I'd say they came out with a kind of a more physical approach. I'd say like we kind of were able to run our offense a lot better. They came with the press, got us starting our offense late, and then they had a very physical on cuts like that. Got into us like we were a young team trying to get into this shape. They're a pretty old team. They've been playing for 4 years. They know how to bounce back. We're kind of learning how to be able to play this team twice in a row. So I guess it's a big learning curve for us to try and get into February and be able to win these games and come back and play through this physicality that these other teams are bringing.
The first win being kind of this overtime win, this win that started a win streak. How frustrating can it be when you come in, you're trying to get that in-state rivalry sweep, and things just don't go your way? I mean, how quickly can frustration build?
Frustration can build quick. I mean, it's like you said, it's a game we really want. It's an in-state rivalry. It's a home game. We want to try and win at home. There's fans come watch us. We got to prove to them why they came out. So it's very frustrating, and we can't really let it build up. But at the same time, like it's, as you saw towards the end, it kind of just slowly built up and built up. Their lead built up. So I feel like being able to just like kind of calm down, slow it down, and keep in that game and not let that frustration build up. We're missing these shots, we're not running our offense as well. And I feel like that's also has to do with like kind of maturing throughout like the process. Now we are a young team, but just be able to mature, find out how to calm ourselves down and make our shots when they do matter, like what Colorado State was doing.
How hard is it to defend Isaiah and John? Tonight they had great games together. I mean, how hard is it to defend players, especially someone like Isaiah who, you know, professional future possibly? I mean, how hard is it to guard those guys?
Yeah, it's credit to them. They're 3-level scorers. They can hit it from deep three. They can drive on you all the way to the layup. Very strong, especially with John Tanji. He's very strong, very physical guard. He throws his shoulder in there. It's hard to stop. And then step back, little jumper. It's very hard to guard, but I feel like we do need to step up and be able to guard these type of players like all year. That's kind of been our problem we've been having, is having these isolation type players, and that's the league's full of them. So I feel like that's a very big point in what we do need to learn, how to step up and have like one guy or all 5 of us that can kind of come together and tell them they're not going to be able to score on us this game.
Bo, I mean, it's just more games that you're building of teams seem to leave you open at times, and you're really taking advantage. I mean, when you see teams leaving you open, how much confidence does that maybe give you to think, oh, I want to prove these guys wrong? I mean, how do you feel when teams leave you open? Because you would think they would have learned by now.
Yeah, I just got to take advantage of it. It's a lot of my open shots are coming off screen, so they're worried about other guys, and I just got to take advantage of it, make them. That's what I've been doing, trying to get just like catch and shoot. I work on it a lot, and it's something that I've done since high school, is shoot the three. So I'm glad that I let them get open, but yeah, just like I always get open off screens and stuff. So
How positive does it, make your thoughts about the future when you see it's like, okay, Ethan's not going anywhere, Jake's not going anywhere. Those guys are going to be able to draw pressure, through the years. I mean, how much confidence does it give you that even when you guys aren't at your ceiling, you guys still have so far to go to really be a really good Air Force team?
Yeah, we're a really young team. Obviously, we got Jake, Ethan, me, Jeff, all sophomores, Friedis, Marcel, freshmen. So we're going to keep the chemistry going, keep building up, get stronger, play together more, and it's just going to go. It's all uphill from here.
How hard can it be when it's, you're building these practice habits, you guys are doing all these things, but the wins aren't coming? Can it get kind of frustrating, or is that kind of beside what you guys are focused on?
No, it definitely can be frustrating. Just missing open shots and knowing that we're running our offense, but it's just we've got to finish the plays, and that's what coach really makes that point of emphasis on, is that we just got to finish plays, and that just really carries our team. If we get the open shot, we got to knock it down.